For decades, we were told that dairy is nature's perfect food, a symbol of strength, purity, and vitality. But as the years pass and our bodies change, what hides in that glass of milk or that innocent slice of cheese might not be so perfect after all. For many people over 50, the wrong dairy choices can quietly harm the heart, kidneys, and even memory without any warning signs. That's why today we're pulling back the curtain on the dairy products that have betrayed our trust and showing you the rare few that truly support long-term health. Let's start with number 10 on our list, flavored yogurts. They sit on store shelves dressed in bright colors, promising health, probiotics, and happiness. You peel the foil expecting a tangy, refreshing bite that's good for your gut. But what you're really eating isn't breakfast, it's dessert in disguise. Most flavored yogurts pack 25 to 30 grams of added sugar in a single cup. That's the same amount you'd get from a can of soda. Imagine thinking you've made a healthy swap trading cookies for fruit yogurt, only to discover your metabolism took the same hit either way. For people over 50, that sugar spike is more than a number. It worsens insulin resistance, fuels inflammation, and quietly adds empty calories that lead to unwanted weight gain. Those healthy yogurts trigger a cascade in your body. Your blood sugar rises, your appetite shifts, and even your sleep can be thrown off for days. And the worst part, the labels don't make it easy to see the truth. Sugar hides under names like fruit puree, concentrate cane juice, or corn syrup solids. The pictures of berries and the words natural flavor are designed to make you feel safe. But if the sugar count tops 15 grams per serving, you're not eating a health food, you're eating dessert. The truth is, dairy itself isn't the enemy. Plain yogurt can still be an ally, packed with protein, calcium, and live probiotics that nourish your gut and bones. The problem is what we've done to it. We've turned it into a candy cup with a healthy label. The good news is you can take back control easily. Choose plain Greek yogurt. It's higher in protein, lower in sugar, and actually keeps you full longer. If you miss that sweet edge, add your own freshness, some real berries, or a drizzle of honey. That way you decide how much sugar goes in, not a marketing department. Think of it this way, a yogurt that spikes your blood sugar is like a friend who brings you cake to your support group. It feels comforting in the moment, but it's not helping you heal. For anyone managing diabetes or trying to stay sharp after 50, these details matter more than ever. Every small choice adds up. So before you reach for that colorful tub, take a second look at the label. Your health deserves that moment of honesty. Moving on to number 9, processed cheese slices. The neon orange squares that melt perfectly over burgers and sandwiches, fooling us into thinking they're real cheese. They promise convenience, but they deliver something else entirely. A mix of oils, starches, emulsifiers, and salt engineered to look, melt, and taste the same in every town. What used to be dairy is now industrial design. Each slice carries a heavy sodium load and minimal real protein or beneficial fats. For older adults, especially those on blood pressure medication, that sodium can quietly drive blood pressure higher day after day, raising the risk for strokes and heart problems. Think of it, 1 or 2 slices could take up a large chunk of your daily sodium limit without you even realizing it. The ingredient list tells the story: milk, fat, whey protein, concentrate, vegetable oil, emulsifying salts, cellulose gel. The cellulose is there to bulk it up, not to nourish you. These slices were designed for shelf life and convenience, not for health. Even when the label says no trans fat, the small, legally allowed amounts can add up quickly, especially if you eat processed foods regularly. Over time, this habit robs your body of the real nutrients that true cheese can offer: calcium, vitamin K2, and natural fats that support your heart and bones. Real cheese like cheddar, mozzarella, or feta offers richer flavor, better nutrition, and far fewer additives. You'll find that a little goes a long way when it's real food, not a chemical blend pretending to be one. If you love the texture of melted cheese, try low-moisture mozzarella. It melts beautifully without the artificial ingredients. Remember, that shiny orange slice sitting on a burger is convenience pretending to be nourishment. And when you trade real food for fake, your body is the one paying the price. So next time you unwrap that perfect square, pause for a second. Ask yourself what you're really eating. Real cheese doesn't need a lab to taste good. It just needs to be made from milk, culture, and time. Choose the real thing, even if it's less often, and your heart, your taste buds, and your long-term health will thank you. That's the start of our journey through the hidden world of modern dairy, a world where sugar salt and shelf life have replaced simplicity and nutrition. But as we'll keep exploring, you'll see that the solution isn't to fear dairy altogether. It's to recognize the difference between food made by nature and food made for profit. At Healthy Hues Wellness, we believe knowledge is the first step toward lasting health. Because when you understand what's really in your fridge, you gain the power to protect your heart, your energy, and your years ahead. When it comes to cheese, many people love that perfect melt over a burger or sandwich. It looks comforting, satisfying, and familiar. But what most of us do not realize is that the bright uniform slice sitting on top of that patty is more science experiment than food. That shiny sheet of convenience hides a long list of processed ingredients, oils, starches, emulsifiers, and salts, all designed for perfect meltability and long shelf life. What it gives in convenience, it takes away in nutrition. High sodium levels quietly raise blood pressure, while processed oils can affect the heart over time. The label might say no trans fats, but trace amounts can still add up if you eat them daily. The truth is simple. That neon blanket on your burger is convenience pretending to be nourishment, and your body pays the price with every bite. Switching to real cheese, even a small amount, makes a difference. A thin slice of real cheddar mozzarella or feta brings flavor, texture, and the kind of natural nutrition that processed slices can never match. If you want a good melt, low-moisture mozzarella gives you that texture without the additives. Convenience should never come at the cost of your circulation. Choose real cheese less often but with purpose, and your body will thank you in the long run. Arriving at number 8 are coffee creamers with dairy blends, the smooth addition that seems to make every cup taste perfect but hides an industrial secret. You pour it in and watch your coffee turn creamy, thinking it is harmless comfort. Yet if you look at the label, you will see a story of chemistry rather than nourishment. Corn syrup solids, partially hydrogenated oils, mono and diglycerides, and sodium caseinate ingredients created to imitate cream and extend shelf life. These engineered oils were once a major source of artificial trans fats, the same fats public health researchers link to thousands of premature heart deaths every year. Even after regulations forced companies to phase them out, many creamers still rely on refined oils and additives that continue to raise concern for heart health. Think about it. That peaceful morning cup may actually be a blend of emulsifiers, anti-caking agents, and sweeteners. Powdered creamers often list corn syrup solids first, followed by vegetable oil solids. This combination gives sweetness and that thick, creamy feel, but delivers nothing your body needs. Just empty calories, refined sugars, and fats that raise bad cholesterol. For older adults, especially those managing heart conditions, this quiet daily ritual can increase risk over time. The problem grows more confusing because labels can be misleading. Many creamers marked as non-dairy still contain milk derivatives such as sodium caseinate, making them unsuitable for those with dairy allergies or vegan diets. The simplest path is also the healthiest. Replace these artificial blends with a splash of real half-and-half unsweetened oat milk or a touch of real cream. For those who prefer shelf-stable options, unsweetened canned coconut milk or plant-based milks in single-serve cartons provide creaminess without the chemical overload. There is a rule worth remembering: the fewer the ingredients, the fewer the surprises. Every spoonful of powdered creamer might seem small, but one daily habit can quietly build into a pattern of excess sugar calories and processed fats. The comforting cup that starts your day should not come at the expense of your heart. When you simplify your choices, you discover that your coffee tastes better, your body feels lighter, and your heart stays stronger. Landing at number 7 is cottage cheese loaded with additives. The humble tub that appears wholesome but hides a complex mix of gum stabilizers and preservatives. You open it expecting a high-protein simple snack, but inside is a list of ingredients that reads more like a chemistry project. Carrageenan, xanthan gum, guar gum stabilizers, and preservatives are added to keep the curd smooth and uniform on the shelf. What you lose in return is the integrity of real food. For older adults seeking lean, clean protein, these unnecessary thickeners turn a healthy choice into a processed imitation. But the concern does not stop at additives. Soft, fresh cheeses like cottage cheese can support the survival of dangerous bacteria, such as Listeria monocytogenes, when contamination happens during production or improper storage. Research has shown that this pathogen can survive in cottage cheese under certain conditions, posing a serious risk especially to older adults and those with weaker immune systems. In large-scale production, it takes only one mistake: a single contaminated utensil, a slightly warm refrigerator, or a lapse in sanitation to allow bacteria to multiply. Add a long list of preservatives that mask freshness issues, and you end up with a product that looks fine but may not be as safe as it appears. The safest approach is choosing cottage cheese with minimal ingredients. Look for labels listing only cultured milk cream and salt. Avoid products that include multiple gums or vague terms like natural flavors. These often signal unnecessary processing. If you want a cleaner option, ricotta offers similar protein with fewer additives, and homemade versions made from strained yogurt let you control every ingredient. Cottage cheese can be a smart protein-rich snack, but only when it remains close to its natural form. The more a food needs chemistry to look perfect, the further it moves from real nourishment. Keeping your ingredients simple keeps your body safer, your digestion calmer, and your meals closer to what nature intended. For older adults, Listeria is not a simple stomach bug. It can lead to severe illness, and in some cases, it can even be fatal. That is why food safety agencies and scientific journals continue to monitor soft dairy products and the conditions under which they are processed. Picture a large-scale dairy facility, huge vats of curds, endless rows of plastic tubs, workers moving quickly to meet demand. It only takes one unclean scoop, a contaminated tool, or a refrigerator running a few degrees too warm for bacteria to spread. The danger lies not only in the bacteria itself, but in how modern processing hides the warning signs. Chemical stabilizers and preservatives can mask a product's age, allowing it to look perfectly fine long after safety margins have started to shrink. When buying cottage cheese, the label is your best line of defense. Look for products with minimal simple ingredients, ideally just cultured milk cream and salt. Avoid tubs that list multiple gums or the vague phrase natural flavors among the first ingredients. That phrase often hides processed additives under friendly marketing language. If you see preservatives such as sorbates listed, think carefully about whether the longer shelf life is worth the trade-off. For older adults who take several medications or have weakened immune systems, simplicity is safety. The fewer the ingredients, the lower the risk of unwanted reactions or microbial surprises. Ricotta cheese is an excellent alternative. It provides similar protein, is easier to digest for many people, and typically contains a shorter ingredient list. You can even make a simple version at home by straining full fat or part skim yogurt. This lets you control the cleanliness, the freshness, and every ingredient involved. When buying from the store, organic brands with minimal processing are usually the better choice. Always stay aware of local health alerts or product recalls, as contamination notices can surface at any time. A tub that looks clean and safe on the outside might still harbor risks within. The longer and more complex the ingredient list, the easier it becomes to overlook what is really in your food. Cottage cheese can absolutely be a smart protein-packed choice, but only if it stays close to its natural roots. When it starts acting more like a processed food, it loses what made it valuable in the first place. Choose simple tubs, short labels, or skip it altogether if it no longer feels right for your plate. Transitioning to number 6, evaporated milk in cans. This pantry staple is famous for its convenience. It lasts for months, adds creaminess to recipes, and seems harmless sitting on the shelf. But inside that metal can lies a silent risk that most people never think about. For years, researchers and consumer groups have raised concerns about the chemical bisphenol A, or BPA, and its tendency to leach from can linings into food. Testing has shown that traces of BPA and related plastic compounds appear in many canned goods, including evaporated and condensed milk. Health organizations have linked BPA exposure to hormonal disruption, kidney strain, and other long-term effects. These risks become more serious as we age when our bodies naturally process toxins less efficiently. Imagine using a can of milk to make dessert pour over coffee or cook dinner. A tiny trace of packaging chemical might migrate into your food. So small it will never make headlines, yet over years of exposure that invisible dose adds up. For older adults already managing hormonal shifts, medication use, or kidney sensitivity, even a slow buildup can matter. Unfortunately, labels rarely tell you anything about BPA or similar chemicals. You have to make informed choices yourself. One simple solution is to switch to powdered milk that comes in BPA-free pouches or cartons. Some brands now clearly label their products as BPA-free, making it easier to choose safely. You can also look for UHT or ultra-high temperature milk sold in shelf-stable boxes. These versions deliver the same convenience without the risk of metal can linings. Evaporated milk is not the only product affected. Testing by Consumer Reports and other independent organizations has found traces of plastic-related chemicals across a wide range of packaged foods. But evaporated milk stands out because it is used frequently in cooking and desserts, often heated and consumed in concentrated form. By switching to BPA-free or boxed options, you immediately reduce one of the simplest and most overlooked chemical exposures in the kitchen. Practical steps make a real difference. Whenever possible, use fresh milk or reconstitute powdered milk according to directions. It behaves almost identically to evaporated milk in recipes. When you do use canned dairy, avoid storing leftovers in the can once opened. Transfer them into glass or ceramic containers before refrigeration. Convenience may save time, but it should never come at the cost of long-term health. Evaporated milk in cans seems harmless, even nostalgic. Yet the truth is that modern packaging carries risks we can now avoid with smarter choices. A few mindful substitutions, fresh milk, powdered milk, or UHT cartons, can protect you from years of unnecessary chemical exposure. The next time you reach for that can on your pantry shelf, remember that safer, cleaner options are within easy reach. Your future health will thank you for choosing them today. When you do need to use canned milk, transfer it to a glass container before heating or storing. Avoid keeping opened canned dairy in plastic containers for too long. Convenience may save minutes, but it often costs health in the long run through slow chemical exposure. One can a month might seem harmless, but one can a week adds up over time. Evaporated milk is useful, but if you care about reducing long-term exposure to packaging chemicals, choose a BPA-free option, powdered milk or shelf-stable milk in cartons, instead of heating your recipes in a metal can. Coming in at number 5, ice cream from big box brands. The frozen treat that brings childhood nostalgia but hides a modern chemical twist. You lift the lid expecting creamy indulgence, yet inside is a mix of sugar syrups, stabilizers, and artificial colors. Most large-scale or discount ice cream brands rely on cheaper ingredients to keep costs low, which means more sugar and more additives per scoop. High fructose corn syrup solids, mono and diglycerides and synthetic stabilizers give the illusion of smooth texture but deliver almost no real nutrition. Imagine a scoop that is half sugar and half chemistry. Many popular tubs contain 20 to 30 grams of added sugar in a single serving. That is equivalent to a dessert, not a snack. For older adults, this level of sugar can cause large swings in blood glucose, worsen insulin resistance, and promote inflammation. The additives do not stop at sweeteners. Artificial colors and emulsifiers such as carboxymethylcellulose, carrageenan, and polysorbates are used to improve mouthfeel and prevent ice crystals from forming. Though still allowed in the United States, several of these additives are restricted or banned in parts of Europe due to stricter food safety standards. The first step to protecting yourself is learning how to read the label. Look at the sugar column first. If sugar or corn syrup solids appear at the top of the ingredient list, you are looking at a product designed for taste, not health. Then scan for unfamiliar chemical names that signal heavy processing. Finally, check for artificial colors or flavor enhancers. These often serve no nutritional purpose. The good news is that healthier alternatives exist. Choose small batch or artisanal brands that use simple ingredients like milk, cream sugar, and real vanilla. Gelato-style options often have fewer ingredients and richer flavor because they rely on balance, not stabilizers. For an easy homemade version, combine plain full-fat yogurt with a drizzle of honey and frozen berries. It gives the same creamy texture and natural sweetness without the sugar overload. If cost is a concern, look for store brands that clearly list ingredient sources or promote lines without stabilizers. Simpler ingredients usually mean cleaner products. A carton that advertises value at checkout can quietly deliver a sugar bomb that drains your energy for hours and strains your body's ability to regulate blood sugar. Ice cream should melt on your tongue, not harm your metabolism. Simplicity always wins. A smaller scoop of real ice cream made from honest ingredients satisfies cravings while protecting your health. Nostalgia is optional, but long-term wellness is not. Moving to number 4, non-dairy cream cheese blends. These spreads are often marketed as healthier, lighter alternatives to regular cream cheese. The packaging promotes wellness, plant-based eating, and better nutrition. Yet behind that promise hides a different story, one filled with seed oils, emulsifiers, and sometimes even contamination risks. Many of these blends are made from refined vegetable oils combined with starches and stabilizers to mimic the creamy texture of dairy. What looks and feels like cream cheese is in reality a processed mixture designed for shelf life and profit. The ingredient list tells the truth. Partially hydrogenated or refined seed oils form the base, while emulsifiers and gums create thickness. Some non-dairy versions even contain milk derivatives like sodium caseinate, which means they are not fully dairy-free. For those avoiding dairy due to allergies or ethical choices, this labeling can be misleading. Another growing concern involves food safety. In recent years, several cream cheese and spread products were recalled due to potential salmonella contamination. In 2024, over 800,000 units were pulled from the market for this reason. Contamination can occur at any point in the production process, and when it does, tracking every affected container is nearly impossible. For people managing heart conditions, blood thinners, or cholesterol issues, the high proportion of refined seed oils can increase inflammation and disturb the balance of healthy fats in the body. Daily consumption turns a simple spread into a small but steady risk. There are safer and more wholesome alternatives. Traditional full-fat cream cheese made from milk and cultures remains the best option when eaten in moderation. The ingredient list should be short, just cream milk and live cultures. For a plant-based option, mashed avocado with a touch of lemon juice and salt provides natural creaminess and beneficial fats without additives or processing. When choosing any spread, transparency matters. Avoid products that use vague terms like natural flavor or list multiple emulsifiers. Check whether the brand has a history of recalls or quality warnings. Reputable companies make this information public and emphasize clean, simple ingredients. A spread that needs heavy chemistry to taste like cream cheese is still processed food no matter what the label says. By returning to real ingredients, whether from dairy or plants, you get the flavor, the nutrition, and the peace of mind that come from food you can trust. The lid peels back, the texture looks smooth and perfect, ready for a photo on social media. But behind that flawless appearance hides a list of ingredients that tell a very different story. Non-dairy cream cheese blends and dairy substitutes are often built from a base of partially hydrogenated or refined seed oils, emulsifiers to make the spread cling, gums to keep it stable, and preservatives to extend shelf life. Some tubs even contain milk proteins such as sodium caseinate, making the term non-dairy misleading. These products are designed not for nutrition but for cost efficiency and long shelf life. The main problems lie in 2 areas. First, seed oils and refined fats. Many of these spreads rely heavily on cheap seed oils to mimic creaminess, but this type of fat can cause inflammation and disrupt the healthy balance of fats in the blood. For people with heart conditions or those on blood-thinning medication diets, high in refined oils can gradually increase cardiovascular risk. Second, food safety. In recent years, several cream cheese and spread brands have faced major recalls due to salmonella contamination. In 2024 alone, more than 800,000 units of cream cheese and related products were recalled for potential contamination. Even private label products were affected, showing that no brand is completely immune when sanitation or supply chain checks fail. A spread that looks smooth and healthy on the outside may in reality be an industrial mix of oils and additives built to please the eye and survive months on the shelf. For older adults managing multiple medications, blood sugar, or heart conditions, daily use of these spreads can quietly stack up small risks that grow more serious over time. The recalls highlight a simple truth: even trusted brands can fail when profit and production move faster than safety. Reading labels becomes the first line of defense. If a cream cheese or spread starts its ingredient list with unfamiliar oils, natural flavors, or long chemical names ending in ate or ose, it is not a pure product. If sodium caseinate appears, the spread is not truly dairy-free despite its branding. Before buying, check whether the brand has had recent recalls or safety warnings. Many companies and retailers post this information publicly, and the FDA recall database provides verified updates. The safer and simpler option is to return to the basics. Choose plain full-fat cream cheese made only from cream and cultures. These versions may be richer, but they are real food, not chemical experiments. For those avoiding dairy, mashed avocado with a touch of lemon juice and salt offers clean, natural creaminess with healthy fats. When buying spreads, prioritize transparency, short ingredient lists, clear labeling, and brands with strong food safety track records. A spread that requires chemistry to look and feel like cream cheese is still processed food in disguise. The healthiest foods do not need long ingredient lists or marketing tricks. They are simple, honest, and nourishing. Choosing real ingredients protects your health far better than any product that hides behind a label promising to be healthy. Coming in at number 3, powdered coffee creamers. These are the convenient white powders that promise to make your morning coffee rich and creamy without the need for refrigeration. You scoop, stir, and watch your coffee turn the perfect shade of beige. But if you take a closer look at the label, what you will see is less like food and more like a laboratory formula. Most powdered creamers are made up of corn syrup solids, sweeteners, hydrogenated or refined vegetable oils, and sodium case, and a milk-derived protein used to mimic the texture of real cream. To prevent clumping, manufacturers also add emulsifiers and anti-caking agents. Even products labeled non-dairy often contain milk proteins, which can be misleading for those with allergies or strict vegan diets. Although trans fats have largely been phased out, many creamers still use refined oils and additives that are far from ideal for daily consumption. These ingredients create that satisfying smoothness in your cup, but at the cost of your long-term health. Health experts consistently warn that regular consumption of ultra-processed fats and sugars contributes to heart disease, obesity, and metabolic disorders. Powdered creamers deliver concentrated doses of empty calories, refined sugars, and processed fats that elevate LDL cholesterol and encourage weight gain over time. Medical institutions have documented how many coffee creamers are made primarily of sugar and oil, not cream, and how daily use adds up to significant health risks over months and years. Studies in public health and nutrition consistently connect high intake of processed fats and sugars to increased risk factors for cardiovascular disease. The small spoonful you add to your coffee every morning might seem harmless, but these habits accumulate quietly. The cleaner and more nourishing choice is simple. Replace powdered creamers with real dairy, such as half and half, or use unsweetened plant-based milks like oat or almond. Powdered coconut milk is another good option. It offers natural creaminess and healthy fats with minimal additives. When you simplify your ingredients, you protect not only your heart but also your energy levels throughout the day. Convenience can be appealing, but every shortcut has a cost. Powdered creamers may promise comfort, but what they really deliver is a steady stream of sugar and processed oil disguised as simplicity. Choosing natural alternatives ensures that the comfort of your morning ritual supports your health instead of quietly eroding it. A single spoonful of powdered creamer may seem harmless, but it is the quiet repetition that turns it into a problem. One scoop a day quickly adds up, filling your cup with empty calories and processed fats that your body never asked for. These powders are engineered for long shelf life and low cost, which means companies rely on cheap synthetic ingredients to maintain texture and flavor. Each spoon you add to your coffee contains more additives than nourishment. Even the term non-dairy can be misleading. Many of these products include sodium caseinate and other milk derivatives, which still make them unsuitable for those with milk allergies or strict vegan diets. Always check for milk-based proteins on the label before assuming it is dairy-free. There are cleaner and healthier alternatives. Powdered coconut milk is one of the best options for a shelf-stable creamer. It is naturally creamy-free from dairy proteins, and many brands keep the ingredient list short and simple. When mixed with hot coffee, it gives a smooth mouthfeel without the corn syrup solids or hydrogenated oils found in regular powdered creamers. For those who prefer real dairy, a splash of refrigerated half-and-half or pure cream is far better in both taste and quality. Food writers and nutrition experts often recommend coconut powder as a pantry-friendly creamer for its convenience and clean composition. One small swap can be the difference between a harmless indulgence and a daily source of processed fats. If your morning coffee relies on chemistry to taste good, it might be time to rethink what you are adding to it. Choose natural creamers with real ingredients and short labels. Your body will always prefer simplicity over synthetic comfort. At number 2, sweetened condensed milk. A thick, syrupy shortcut that hides more sugar than most people realize. A single 2-teaspoon serving of sweetened condensed milk contains around 18 to 22 grams of sugar and roughly 120 to 130 calories. That means nearly a third of the product's weight is pure sugar. It may look small, but it delivers a heavy hit to your insulin levels, especially dangerous for older adults or anyone managing diabetes. The problem is not only in the sweetness itself, but in how it is used. Condensed milk sneaks into recipes everywhere: pies, desserts, coffee, drinks, and traditional sweets. What starts as one spoonful quickly becomes several, and the sugar load compounds across the week. This kind of concentrated sugar acts fast, pushing insulin resistance higher and straining the body's ability to keep glucose balanced. For people with reduced glucose tolerance, that familiar creamy taste can mean unpredictable blood sugar spikes that are hard to manage. There are safer and equally satisfying alternatives. Unsweetened condensed milk, often labeled as evaporated milk, gives the same creamy texture without the excessive sugar. You can also reconstitute powdered whole milk and add your own controlled sweetener, like a small spoon of pure maple syrup or honey. This approach keeps flavor natural and lets you control how much sugar enters your diet. Some brands now offer reduced sugar or no sugar added options, but labels must be read carefully, especially when portion sizes are small yet calorie-dense. Health experts emphasize moderation with condensed milk. A single spoon can transform a dessert, but it can just as easily push your daily sugar intake into the danger zone. Use it sparingly, treat it as a special addition rather than a daily habit, and explore recipes that use natural sweeteners instead. Small, mindful adjustments protect your blood sugar without sacrificing flavor. At number 1, flavored milk drinks. They come in cheerful cartons covered with images of smiling children, colorful swirls, and promises of calcium and energy. They seem like a wholesome choice, a drink that brings back childhood comfort. But behind that friendly packaging hides one of the biggest sugar traps in the dairy aisle. Many flavored milk drinks contain 20 to 35 grams of sugar per serving, the same amount found in soda or sweetened iced tea. It may look like milk, but nutritionally it behaves like dessert. For adults, especially those over 50, these sugar loads can lead to rapid blood glucose spikes, heavier insulin responses, and long-term strain on the heart and kidneys. What seems like a fun morning treat or a post-workout pick-me-up slowly becomes a daily source of metabolic stress. Artificial colors and flavorings often accompany the sugar, offering visual appeal but no nutritional value. In some countries, certain dyes used in these drinks are restricted due to health concerns, yet they remain legal in the United States. Another hidden problem is portion size. Single-serve cartons are deceptively large, sometimes containing as much sugar as a full dessert serving. Many people assume milk is always healthy and fail to notice the difference between natural lactose and added sugar. Over time, this misunderstanding can lead to chronic issues such as insulin resistance, weight gain, and fatigue. The good news is that flavored milk does not have to be off limits if you make it yourself. Mix unsweetened cocoa powder with regular milk and add a touch of honey or maple syrup. The result is rich, balanced, and far less harmful than pre-packaged versions. For children, gradually diluting store-bought flavored milk with plain milk can help reduce sugar intake and reset their taste preferences. For adults, pairing a small portion of flavored milk with a protein-rich snack like nuts or a boiled egg can help stabilize blood sugar levels. Flavored milk should never be mistaken for a healthy beverage. It is a dessert disguised as dairy, and while it may bring comfort or nostalgia, it delivers little that your body truly needs. Choosing unsweetened milk, natural cocoa, or smaller portions allows you to keep the joy of flavor without the metabolic consequences. Simple swaps like these protect your heart, kidneys, and energy levels for the long run, proving that true health is found not in restriction but in awareness and balance. One small carton of flavored milk each day may not seem like much, but over time it becomes a steady challenge for your body's insulin response. For those managing diabetes or taking medication that affects blood sugar, this constant stream of sweetness can make glucose control more difficult and unpredictable. Many flavored milk drinks also use artificial dyes to achieve their bright candy-like colors. These dyes have been criticized in several countries and are even restricted in some markets. While still permitted in the United States, they add no nutritional value and can irritate sensitive stomachs or affect concentration in children. They are marketing glitter, not nourishment. Another overlooked issue is packaging and portion size. The single-serve cartons look small, yet many contain as much sugar as a full dessert serving. Consumers often assume milk equals safe, and companies assume most people will not check the sugar content. This creates a cultural misunderstanding where a dairy product is marketed like a health drink but behaves like a dessert. The result is a daily habit that quietly undermines metabolic health. If you enjoy chocolate milk, there is a better way. Mix unsweetened cocoa powder into regular milk and add a small amount of your own sweetener. You will get the same flavor and the same calcium and protein benefits without the massive sugar surge. Be cautious with reduced fat or low-fat flavored milks. To make up for the loss of fat, manufacturers often add even more sugar to restore flavor and mouthfeel. Fat helps slow down sugar absorption, so when you remove it and add extra sugar, you create a sharper blood sugar spike followed by a quick crash. For older adults who need stable energy throughout the day, that trade-off can lead to fatigue and hunger cycles. Practical swaps are simple and effective. Combine unsweetened cocoa with warm milk and add a teaspoon of honey if you prefer mild sweetness. For a dessert-like flavor without the sugar overload, try a touch of vanilla extract and cinnamon. For children, gradually dilute flavored milk with plain milk to cut the sugar content in half and retrain the taste buds toward less sweetness. For seniors who still enjoy a sweet drink, use smaller portions and pair them with protein-rich snacks such as nuts or a boiled egg to blunt the sugar impact. That cheerful carton on the shelf may look harmless, but once you calculate the sugar content, it tells a different story. What seems like a fun treat quickly turns into a daily drain on your metabolism, insulin control, and long-term organ health. A simple mindset shift helps. If a milk bottle tastes like dessert, treat it like dessert, not a healthy beverage. Coming in at good pick number 1 is organic kefir, the probiotic-rich drink that truly earns its reputation for supporting digestion, immunity, and bone health. When you hold a bottle of plain kefir, you are holding a living food filled with active cultures, multiple strains of beneficial bacteria and yeasts, and a tangy flavor that tastes clean rather than sugary. For adults over 50, kefir offers several benefits that make it stand out in the dairy aisle. It helps maintain a balanced gut microbiome, which plays a key role in digestion, nutrient absorption, and immune strength. A healthy gut can reduce bloating, ease chronic digestive discomfort, and improve how the body uses vitamins and minerals, changes that become more valuable with age. Kefir also provides calcium and protein in a convenient drinkable form, ideal for those who struggle with large or heavy meals. The protein supports muscle maintenance while calcium promotes strong bones. Organic kefir often comes from cows raised without routine antibiotics and from farms that limit the use of unnecessary additives, offering a cleaner product for people concerned about chemical exposure. However, it is important to choose carefully. Flavored or fruit-added kefir often contains added sugars that can reduce or even counteract its probiotic benefits. The best choice is plain or unsweetened kefir with a short, simple ingredient list, just milk and cultures. Some brands include information about the probiotic strains or colony-forming units per serving. While not essential, these details show transparency and quality. Most kefir is made from pasteurized milk, then fermented to reintroduce live cultures, which keeps it safe while preserving its digestive benefits. Using kefir in daily life is easy. Drink a small glass with breakfast, pour a splash into oatmeal, or blend it into a smoothie for a tangy twist. If you are new to kefir, start with a small amount each day to let your body adjust, as probiotics can temporarily cause mild gas or bloating during the first week. These effects usually fade as your microbiome rebalances, and the longer-term benefits become more noticeable with consistent use. For people taking immune-suppressing medication, it is wise to consult a healthcare provider before adding live culture products to the diet. Kefir is a living food. It helps the gut function properly instead of masking issues with sugar or additives. In a market filled with processed dairy products, kefir stands out as one of the few that truly nourish the body from within. Organic kefir supports digestive harmony, strengthens the immune system, and provides clean, natural nutrition without unnecessary sugar or chemicals. When chosen wisely, it transforms from a simple drink into a daily ally for health and longevity, offering the kind of genuine wellness that most dairy products only claim to deliver. When a dairy product truly supports digestion and bone health without relying on added sugars or artificial ingredients, it deserves a permanent place in the refrigerator. Kefir earns that spot easily. The second good pick is grass-fed butter, a simple real fat that brings flavor balance and nutrition without unnecessary processing. A small pat on warm toast delivers more than taste. Butter from grass-fed cows naturally contains higher levels of beneficial nutrients than conventional butter, including slightly more omega-3 fatty acids and fat-soluble vitamins such as vitamin K2. This particular vitamin plays a key role in bone health, guiding calcium into the bones where it belongs, rather than letting it build up in soft tissues like arteries. As people age and bone density becomes more important, this function becomes invaluable. Although the omega-3 difference between grass-fed and grain-fed butter may seem small, the overall fat balance improves noticeably. The ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids shifts toward a healthier profile, helping reduce inflammation and supporting cardiovascular wellness. For older adults who are already paying attention to heart and bone health, these incremental gains can make a meaningful difference when combined with an overall balanced diet. Another benefit of grass-fed butter is how it is produced. It often comes from farms that use fewer industrial feed additives and follow higher animal welfare standards. Choosing butter from grass-fed cows supports farming practices that are more sustainable, humane, and mindful of the environment. For those who care about avoiding unnecessary antibiotics or prefer ethically sourced food, that becomes an added reason to make the switch. The practical advantage, however, is straightforward. Grass-fed butter is real food made through minimal processing. It stands in contrast to the many spreads and margarine products that fill grocery store shelves loaded with seed oils, emulsifiers, and artificial stabilizers. These processed alternatives are often marketed as heart-healthy, but they can introduce refined polyunsaturated fats and additives that may disrupt digestion or interact poorly with certain medications. Using butter safely is about moderation. It is calorie-dense, so small amounts go a long way. A thin layer on toast or a teaspoon melted in a pan adds a rich flavor and a healthy dose of natural fat without overwhelming your meal. When cooking, use grass-fed butter in recipes where its flavor enhances the dish: a sauté, a baked potato, or a morning coffee. You get depth, taste, and nutrients without resorting to synthetic replacements. When reading labels, simplicity is key. The ingredients should list only cream and possibly salt. Avoid anything labeled as a spread or margarine that includes vegetable oils, hydrogenated fats, or long lists of additives. The phrase grass-fed is what to look for, and additional certifications such as pasture-raised or third-party verified are even better indicators of quality. For those on a budget, there is no need to use grass-fed butter exclusively. Rotate it into meals where the flavor truly shines. Even small amounts can improve the quality of your diet and bring nutritional benefits that processed spreads simply cannot match. Butter is not the villain it was once made out to be. In its natural form, especially when sourced from grass-fed cows, it offers valuable nutrients that help maintain bone strength, hormone balance, and overall vitality. A single pat of real butter contains flavor integrity and nourishment that no artificial substitute can replicate. Grass-fed butter proves that good fats used wisely are a friend to your health, not a threat. When chosen carefully and enjoyed in moderation, it transforms from a misunderstood indulgence into a small yet powerful ally in everyday wellness.